20 years later, black people are still not free. 20 years later, black people are still trapped in squalor, unsafe and unhealthy condition. 20 years later, the majority is still trapped in landlessness, hopelessness, and homelessness. Young and old black workers are still subjected to slave wages. Domestic workers and farm workers are still disrespected. They are not paid a proper salary. Majority of our people are still struggling financially, and they are trapped by debt they are owing a white man. Many of you are even blacklisted by credit bureau. Many black women are still suffering triple oppression and exploitation because of their gender, race, and class. Comrades, many of our communities are still without basic services such as water, sanitation, electricity, and health care. Black communities are still subjected to open toilets or are continuing to help themselves in the bush. Many communities, especially in the coastal provinces, are still without the fishing rights. Black professionals in all spheres of work, the accountants, auditors, doctors, academics, lawyers, engineers, professionals in the ICT sector, and many other professions are still subjected to racial discrimination and unequal treatment. 20 years later, the police are still killing our people. They killed our people in Marikana, in Mututlung, in Vicksburg, in Relela, and all over South Africa. 20 years later, civil servants, particularly teachers, nurses, and police, are treated with disrespect and paid low salaries. Our armed forces, particularly the army, are not paid adequate salaries and not given respect they deserve, and they are sent to fight illegal wars all over Africa. Majority of black children are still financially excluded from institutions of higher learning. Women and children are still subjected to violent crimes, particularly rape. The conditions of people with disability have not been improved. The land question is still not addressed. 20 years later, the dignity of black people is still not restored. Our people are not enjoying the true freedom. The true freedom means shelter. The true freedom means electricity. The true freedom means water. The true freedom means quality jobs. The true freedom means a living wage. Our people still don't have those things. They said in 1994, they will transfer 30% of the land into the hands of the people. The reality is that they have only transferred 7%. The majority of the land is still in the hands of those who owned the land before 1994. Our people are still
Know more about your world.
eNCA.com.